pretty much.
Oh, what did Adam and Eve really do to get thrown out of the Garden of Eden? Eat salt and vinegar.
Oh, fuck.
Absolutely. That went. I'm sorry. I'm giving my vote away right now.
You remember when we watched this for the 13 Nights of Fright? Or it was you, me, and Jacob watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And gotta be honest, it was it was a heck of a watch. But I remember you all liking the second one better.
Yeah.
I
mean, both of them I liked more than I originally thought that I would, because whenever I saw the previews for them and they were coming out in theaters, I was like, that looks like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But they weren't as bad as I thought they'd be. They were halfway decent.
And again, my whole thing with these films is the way they're made. I think this style was perfected to a certain degree with the movie Searching. You remember that with John Cho, him searching for his daughter? I think that was the...
So that one was less of a horror attempt as well. It was more of a thriller.
Yes. But still, though, in terms of the style of the filmmaking where, you know, you're using the computer screen as one of the primary storytelling devices, I think it pulls it off better than most try to do. But this, you know, this was... Yeah, everything took place on the same computer screen, and overall, it's still a pretty damn good movie. And Unfriended is a movie that I watched after it was out of theaters, and then I watched the second one in theaters. And if they ever do a third one, I'll give it a watch. I mean, depending on what people who I trust say, you know, the critical opinions of the people who I trust. But I guess let's go ahead and start it up.
So just me, or is this a short kill count?
It is. It's very short. This is early on. This is 2018 kill counts where James wasn't as descriptive or as much behind the scenes on stuff. But either way, I still enjoy these kill counts because it's just James being James.
That's always fine.
So let's go ahead and give it a watch. This is Unfriended, the our first one, the kill count by Dead Meat. Here we go.
Movie footage used in the kill count is owned entirely by the copyright holders. Dead Meat makes no claim of ownership and simply uses the footage for purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support filmmakers and the art of filmmaking by watching Unfriended in its entirety on home media or streaming services where available.
Agreed.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Unfriended, made in 2014 and given a wide release in 2015. Unfriended is, I guess, technically a found footage film, but the premise and execution is so unique, I couldn't help but fall in love with it. The entire movie is told through a screencast of the main character Blair's computer as she video chats with her boyfriend and friends. And the thing I love about it is how authentic it feels. Blair has tons of real programs open and a browser full of tabs. She switches between messages.
That's why I didn't like the first one as much. I remember now, like, all the characters in the first movie are completely fucking unlikable.
Yeah, that's one thing.
That was what made it not great, is, like, I kind of want all of them to die because they're all fucking
obnoxious pricks.
Dickheads or bitches, you know?
Yeah, and in the second one, I think that, again, the characters are given much more time to establish who they are, and we find out that several of them are super likable. Some are a bit annoying, but...
not to mention the second one is scarier because I believe they set it with real-world horror, and the first one is more of a supernatural horror. So.
Yeah.
Supernatural horror can be scary if done really, really well, but, like, it's just obviously the real-world horror of the second one hits a little more creepily.
Well, yeah, of course. Anyway, sorry.
It's a more believable than Ghost Girl coming for you through your DMs, you know?
pages constantly, she begins to type messages out only to second guess herself and delete them. It definitely mirrors my experience of living a social life in the virtual space. Additionally, the cast all acts completely believable as real, kind of shitty high school students, ages notwithstanding. And the whole plot is a commentary on cyberbullying, a big issue in the modern era that was just starting to gain mainstream exposure when this movie was released. It's easy to write Unfriended off as a stupid slasher with a bunch of screaming teens, but I am seriously impressed by its commitment to the screencast premise. Plus, it's got a handful of fun kills. Let's see how many and get to them. The movie begins with a video on LiveLeak.com that shows the suicide of high school student Laura Barnes. It's pretty disturbing in how real it feels, so, you know, look away if you have to. Although I will say that was real risky of her to hold a gun so far away like that. Good way to mess up and just maim yourself. Our audience surrogate Blair then checks out the YouTube video that told Laura Barnes to go kill herself after an embarrassing incident at a party. Things get really uncomfortable considering what was going on in the news at the time. You gotta remember, this movie came out in the wake of stuff like Steubenville and Audrey Potts, so yeah, it definitely has a message to it. Before we can see exactly what happened to Laura, though, Blair gets a video call from her boyfriend Mitch. Mitch looks like he's ready to cruise Omegle with his wang out, and he nearly succeeds in getting Blair similarly topless. But she puts sexy cyber times on hold to give him an important announcement. She's finally ready to lose her virginity to him and have sex on prom night. Kind of a pat plan there, but that doesn't dampen Mitch's excitement.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate your movie?
They're just about to get back to some virtual foreplay when they both unexpectedly join a group chat featuring a trio of their friends. Blonde party girl Jess, Mitch's best bro Adam, and stoner funny guy Ken. All of them razz the couple about their almost cybersex session, again in a way I think feels authentic.
Hey guys.
Where you coming from, man? Hey, Mitch, why are you such a big boner, bro?
What are you talking about?
We see in a separate iMessage that neither Blair nor Mitch answered the call, and I like how the film uses unsent messages to get into the head of our protagonist without having her explicitly say things. It's a clever device. Over in the group chat, they notice there's a nameless avatar in on the call with them. Nobody seems to know who it is or how they got in, and even after they all hang up and restart the call, the nameless participant remains. Mitch says he got a message from Laura Barnes, and then over on her Facebook, Blair gets one too. Spooky! And you know what, Blair? I don't think clearing no cookies is gonna fool a ghost. After the silent mystery person joins the third attempt at a group chat, Mitch points out that it's the anniversary of Laura's death and sends Blair to a forum that warns against answering messages from the dead, because the people who do so wind up dead as well. Blair tries to stop the messages from Laura's account by memorializing it through Facebook's system, but when she tries to do that, an error happens that fills those dialogue boxes with a creepy message of, I got her, I got her, I got her. So Blair remembers the name of the movie that she's in and unfriends Laura. Dun dun dun. Laura's account immediately messages her and says that was a mistake. Blair begins to suspect another friend, Val, is behind this tomfoolery, so she invites Val to the group chat, while her friends show how two-faced high school cyberbullies are.
Can I just be honest? I don't like Val.
Nobody likes Val.
Hi, Val.
Hey Val.
It looks like Val is getting punked by the ghost of Internet Past 2, because an album of embarrassing pictures of her gets uploaded to Facebook on Jess's account. Jess says she has no idea how the album got uploaded, and a fight breaks out between the two of them.
I didn't do this, okay? I don't know why you're getting so Oh my god, you trashy little bitch, delete them.
Wow.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you just call me trashy?
Wow, this group chat got awkward fast. Eventually, Jess is able to delete the album, but then the pictures are posted from Adam's account. The pictureless participant finally speaks up and admits that it was them who uploaded the pictures.
You said it was just a glitch. Well, the glitch just typed.
Blair sees that the glitch named Billy is actually the account of Laura Barnes, so I'll just refer to Billy as Laura from now on. Everyone in the chat grows suspicious that one of them is behind the account, and they even do a hand check to see who's trolling the rest of the group. But the messages keep on coming, and the mystery person sends something to Val privately that really sets her off. Val takes out her phone and calls the cops despite Laura warning her not to. Then Val's slow-ass motherfucking internet connection cuts out, and she leaves the chat. Blair gets an email with the subject Val plays the game,
Slow-ass
showing what
motherfucking
Val had
internet
received
connection.
privately. It's an Instagram post of a G-chat revealing how Val had been less than helpful when Laura reached out to her for help with the
Wow. Yeah, that's... Damn.
embarrassing video. Val told Laura to kill herself, which is seriously something you should never do, even though Ken voices his support for the retort.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but I'll give you the Ken opinion. Laura fucking sucked. She was a big bully,
Okay, and she deserved all the shit she got from that video.
Blair's not comfortable with all this post-mortem shit-talking and almost tells Mitch something about Laura's past involving her uncle, but instead decides that they should all just hang up. Laura then messages her saying that if she does, there will be consequences. Laura reiterates the same point to the Skype group call, and then Val's camera suddenly returns to the chat, showing her sitting still next to a bottle of bleach. At first, it looks like the picture is frozen, but we get a pretty great moment when Blair calls her, and we see Val's phone vibrating across the table in the lower right side of her camera. Turns out the picture isn't frozen, Val is. Then this happens. Boom, jump scare. The camera stays messed up for a while until they hear some cops enter the house and mention 1055, which is apparently the police code for suicide. Sure enough, we get a glimpse of a dead Val lying on the ground before the camera connection finally cuts out. I think the consensus here is that Val killed herself by drinking that bleach, aka she got memed to death. Blair gets a private message from Laura with an attachment, and after her apparent 56K connection finishes downloading the JPEG, it's revealed to be a meme, or actually an image macro if you want to be correct about it, showing her and Adam together, who's not her boyfriend, of course. Laura tells the group that they're going to play a game tonight, and I don't think it's Words with Friends. Ken tries to stop this shit by emailing everyone a program to run that should remove any Trojans from their computers. And wait, Blair's hard drive is only 16 gigs? What the fuck? That's barely enough for an operating system. Anyway, everyone else gets their files quarantined and deleted, but Blair's been torrenting SNL, and the in-use file prevents her from emptying her trash bin. Lauren Michaels probably feels a sense of justice somewhere, as Laura gives the group 60 seconds to knock this shit off. And Adam gets so freaked out he points a gun at his webcam. Blair manages to empty her trash at the last second of Laura's warning timer, and the plan appears to have worked. The pictureless profile disappears from the group chat, and everyone cheers in relief.
Thank you, Ken.
Adam, you pulled out a fucking gun!
But maybe don't count your Neopets before they hatch, because after Blair...
Yeah, he pulled out a gun on a webcam. Bro, that's nothing. Dude bro is lucky he didn't shoot a can of G Fuel.
Takes a trip down Time Machine Lane to
People
look at
have done much dumber stuff and pulled out guns on Twitch streams.
That's what I was making a reference to. Dude, homeboy, this one dude pulled out one. He didn't... Horrible trigger discipline, by the way. Had his finger on the trigger, had the safety off. He shot the bullet. It came out, hit a steel thermos, and deflected into a big old thing of G Fuel, and it just exploded everywhere. And the dude was super drunk, and he was just like, let me show you something, chat. Let me show you something. Boom, shing! And just like, you see the G Fuel just explode. He's like, I gotta go change my pants now. He sets the gun down, and he's just like, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. I'm sorry.
Yep.
He didn't even finish what he was going to say. He just ended the stream, and then he got banned for, I think, 60 days. I mean, you fucked up, man. You fucked up. Ugh.
The only reason anybody should have a gun out on the stream is if their house gets invaded by someone in the middle of the stream.
Yeah. Also, I would say the biggest thing, it would also be like if you're doing like shooting like out in the middle of the woods at a range or something.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, if you're live streaming that, which
like showing your gun off at your computer desk is just tacky as hell either way. So.
Dude, there was one I actually have the soundbite and I had it programmed on my soundboard. It's an actual shotgun racking in a live shell. That's the sound effect. And I played it, and it's like, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, whoa, dude, whoa, don't do that, because he was live streaming. I'm like, it's just a soundbite, man. I apologized.
The mystery account rejoins the chat, only this time with a video feed. The image is obfuscated, and we don't know exactly what we're looking at until Ken gets up from his desk. That's right, the Skype call is coming from inside the house. It's a pretty creepy moment, and after Ken locates the source of the feed, his video freezes up. Then the call disconnects completely. Blair tries to call Ken back, but again, the image seems to be frozen, at least for a minute. Oh shit, things go crazy, and before you know it, Ken is sticking his hand straight into a blender. Then he breaks off the glass container and sticks his face all up in the blaze. Oh man, Ken, you are the comic relief, dude. Hot-headed Adam hears a knock at his door, so he takes his laptop with him to check it out. After threatening the unseen knocker with his gun, the lights at his place go out, and Laura comes back into the chat to tell him to take a seat. Laura makes the embarrassing YouTube video pop up all over everyone's screens. Again, like that "You Are an Idiot" Trojan from days of old. And even force quitting Chrome doesn't do shit to stop it. it. Should have been rocking Windows, Blair. Task Manager and End Process would have fixed you right up. With the screen held captive, we finally watch the video play through to the end and see the awful high school tragedy that befell Laura and led to her suicide. Apparently, she passed out at a party and shat herself. It's pretty disgusting, but much better than the sexual assault stuff that undoubtedly inspired this story. Props to Unfriended for finding a good substitute situation to use. Laura blames the group for the video and for all the YouTube comments that were posted on it. Blair at first goes to deny it, but then reads that the best course of action for spooky spirits like this is to confess your sins, so she goes with the everyone was doing it defense? Yeah, Blair, you're probably gonna have to try a little harder.
Yeah.
Laura says it's game time again and that there will be some severe consequences for the loser. After turning Adam's lights back on, she announces that Never Have I Ever is her game of choice, and Jess explains the rules to a clueless Blair.
Okay, you put up 5 fingers, and then if you've done something, you have to put your finger down.
Everyone reluctantly puts their fingers up, and the questions reveal inner conflicts among the friend group. For instance, Jess had started an eating disorder rumor about Blair, while Blair had crashed Jess's mom's car.
Great friend, Blair.
It gets worse though. It's revealed that Mitch sold out Adam to the cops for selling weed like a total narc. And apparently, Adam had even bargained privately with Laura to save him, Mitch, and Blair in exchange for Jess's life. Eventually, a drunk and angry Adam throws a suggestion to Laura. Never have I ever had sex. That's when Blair has to reveal that she cheated on Mitch and slept with Adam, losing her virginity to him instead of Mitch as promised.
I hate you, Adam!
Fuck you, Blair.
Yeah, everything's pretty much fucked right now for these high schoolers. And things get even worse for Mitch when Laura shows them all a video on YouTube of Adam and Blair having sex. Wow, yeah, that has gotta be real rough for Mitch to see. I also feel bad for Jess, who's just sitting there in the middle of all this with her fingers up. After Adam waves his gun around at the screen, his printer prints something out.
What is it?
It says I'm not supposed to tell you what it says.
Oh, come on, Adam.
Blair's printer also activates, and she's equally unwilling to share what her note says. Mitch is furious about another apparent secret between Blair and Adam, so he gives her an ultimatum: show the paper or he'll leave, which Laura points out will mean his death. So Blair capitulates and reveals that her printout says that if she shows the note, Adam will die. Adam's gun shoots him in the head right away, killing him and revealing that the note he got similarly said that if he were to show it, Blair would have died. Laura starts the game up again, which sends Jess screaming and running into her bathroom to hide. Blair tries to crowdsource a rescue from random strangers on chat roulette, and after a whole bunch of creeps and stoners, finally gets a helpful chick in Nevada who agrees to call the local police for her. But it's too late. Laura says goodbye, Jess, and Jess's camera turns to a black buffering screen. But, you know, only for a minute. When her picture returns, Jess has a hot curling iron in her mouth, so she's killed in a tamer
pretty
version
fucked
of
up.
that classic sleepaway camp death, and the results are posted on Facebook in macro form. Blair and Mitch's lights both go out, leaving them sobbing in the dark, with Mitch saying he still loves Blair and forgiving her for the whole Adam thing. Then Laura returns for one last round of the game and says that one of the two of them posted the video that ruined her life. After a 30-second countdown, Blair admits in a private message that it was Mitch who posted it, and she watches as he's killed by slamming his face down eye first into a knife. Not the best effects, but points for effort, Unfriended. I'll defend you to the end. But it's not the end, at least not yet, because Laura begins a final timer to an unknown fate for Blair. Blair tearfully tries to appeal to Laura's sympathy through old Facebook pictures of them together, but it doesn't work, and after the timer runs out, a video gets posted on Facebook that shows the director's cut ending to the embarrassing shit video. Turns out Blair was the one who recorded it in the first place. Blair's peers immediately start leaving comments, blaming her for Laura's death and telling her to kill herself, because I guess they've learned fucking nothing. Don't say that to people! The movie ends with the screen capture premise finally getting broken, much to my dismay, when the laptop is closed in front of Blair, and the last thing we see is a spooky jump scare face. Quite the digital adventure. How many kills did we rack up here in cyberspace? Let's find out and get to the... Oh, what's that message? I don't know any Billies.
When
Bye,
Halloween kill
James.
count.
Don't worry, it was just a glitch. 6 people died in Unfriended, and the victims consisted of 3 guys and 3 girls, giving us an even gender split down the middle. With a runtime of only 83 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average every 13.83 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Ken. There were a few good kills here, but
Yeah, the
Ken's
blender
is the
was
one that
pretty
everyone
insane.
remembers. And I guess I
the
just
neck.
have a thing for blender kills. Skull Machete for lamest kill will go to Val, who apparently drank that bottle of bleach. I love the creepy stillness of the shot, but that doesn't mean the death itself was cool. And that's it. Unfriended was made in 2014, and the sequel, Unfriended Dark Web, comes out tomorrow, Friday, July 20th, so go see it. Remember, I can't cover it here until it's out on Blu-ray, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this extra Kill Count. I want to thank a couple of patrons like Aaron Delgado, Anthony Denny, and Nick Brainerd. Unfriended gets a lot of shit, but I still really like it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the sequel. I'm in San Diego for Comic-Con all weekend, so it may be a minute, but hopefully we can see it and do a review on the podcast. If you're at Comic-Con, let me know and we can meet up. Just tweet at me on Twitter at DeadMeatJames. Be good people.
All right. So there you go. That's, oh, yeah. You know,
remembering the movie, like, definitely when we saw it, I was like, yeah, like, I expected something, like, really, really, really dumb.
Yeah.
And I've heard certain people say that they thought it was really, really, really dumb, but I'm like, it's not as dumb as it could have been.
It's...
Like, they at least made an effort to make it decent.
Its main flaw is the uncaring, like, how much we do not care if something bad happens to the character.
Yeah, like every main character being a piece of shit is the main flaw.
Heck, even the supposed main final girl, Blair.
Yeah, she was the one that fucking recorded the video in the first place. She caused the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not to mention she was a bitch for cheating on her boyfriend too. So,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't like her starting whenever I found that out. I was just like, fucking really? It's like you not only cheated, but like you're acting like you're still a complete virgin to him, and like, oh, I want to do it for the first time on prom night. It'll be so special. And you know, if that whole conversation and ghost situation hadn't have gone down, that probably would have went off like him always thinking that, pretty much, that he was her first. And it's just that's just so shitty to me.
Maybe, or him and Adam would have gotten drunk at a party, and he'd have just been like, I just want to let you know, man, Blair's an awesome girl. Blair's, you know, you're lucky to have her, man. You're lucky that you're with her now. It's good. And it's like, and he's like, thanks, man. He's like, wait, did you and Blair ever? He's like, it was a long time ago, man. You know, but she said that I was her first, you know. Like, you get drunk enough, you're going to blab about everything. I mean, I don't know. But, Jesus. And Unfriended Dark Web, I mean, we might do that next time. I mean, depends on if y'all like this.
Yeah, so, Dark Web was much better, like, and the characters were more likable.
Yes, much more likable.
It was more like the more likable characters, and it was based in a potential reality, so.
Yeah, well.
Not to mention they actually, if I'm remembering the movie right, I'm sure I am because I've only seen so many movies made in the style, but it's the one with the girl that's deaf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and like that's kind of like the same concept as, in a way, not exactly the same, but in a way as the movie with the deaf girl as the main protagonist that has the guy trying to break into her house and murder her or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just an interesting horror concept to have somebody who can't hear, but also, like, a horror situation going on.
I would say if I had a problem with Unfriended Dark Web, it would probably be some of the characters are kind of stupid. For instance, the British one,
Wasn't he the skeptic?
Well, no. The skeptic, are you talking about the dude who, like, lived in his basement?
I can't remember. I thought I remember one of the characters just the whole time being like, yeah, quit joking around, guys. Like, you know, not believing it till, like, the very end when something actually happened to them.
Well, he knew something was happening, but my whole thing was he goes through the entire film, literally watches every single one of his friends get decimated and just killed by people whom they didn't expect, and then all of a sudden he hears a knock on his door and he's like, "Hello, who is that?" And he walks up and he walks off screen. It's like, dude, someone's knocking on my door. I'm grabbing a fucking weapon and I'm swinging. Okay, I'm like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's pretty zero brain cell horror movie character behavior.
And again, if it's to increase the body count, no. I mean, come on. If there's going to be a death, earn it. That's the thing. These are human lives that you're supposedly human lives you're playing with, and you have to treat them with, to a certain degree, a little bit of respect. You can't just have them all of a sudden turn off their brain for a second, be like, "Hello? Who's out there?
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm just going to stick my head out the door." And it's like, "Oh my gosh," looks up and head gets decapitated by a fucking machete. I mean, come on, dude. Anyway. I think that's why
the supernatural deaths work a little bit better, because it's like, well, at least there wasn't really anything they could have done.
Very true. Very, very true.
It's like supposedly confessed their sins, quote unquote, but none of them were willing to do that.
No.
And they'd all be in the same situation of like everyone telling them to go kill themselves, pretty much, if they did.
If the truth ever got out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so they were still kind of in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that's going to do it, everyone. This was the Unfriended kill count by Dead Meat. If you want to see the original, check out Dead Meat's channel by clicking the name in the title of the video, or by clicking the link in the description. But until then, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
We'll see you later, everyone. Peace.